friends, welcome to the energetic aspects of frozen shoulder and how it plays into the diaphragm. Okay, this is my disclaimer of I'm not inherently a woo person, but I kind of look at it as like a Myers-Briggs sort of thing of if having sort of this classification of things sort of helps to give you insight on where you're potentially holding stress. Doesn't have to be capital T truth, but it can just be really insightful. So we have shoulders, right? We have a shoulder girdle that mounts on the collarbone. So what's really raising my shoulders up and down is in part my collarbone moving up and down. How that relates to the energetic or chakra system is we've got the throat chakra, the heart chakra, and this is what I really think is a doozy when it comes to the frozen shoulder aspects of things is the third chakra, which is the center of volition and career. So in the last series, I talked about carpal tunnel and how there is kind of an energetic center in your hands, like there's totally tangential chakras or energy centers here. At a minimum, if you don't totally buy that, or even if you've stuck with me this long to listen to this, but even if you think about if you hug someone or do something that you care about, or really doing anything with your hands, it could even be gaming, that you feel a sense of power or a sense of creativity or a sense of volition. So that, to me, coincides one immediately with the heart. Now, what I find interesting as far as frozen shoulder is the interplay between the heart, the throat, and the sense of career. What I see a lot is that people who have frozen shoulder, they're holding an immense amount of tension in through the jaw and through the throat, which then lends me to ask, in what way do they not feel like they can express themselves in their relationships? Now, that could be romantic, it could be friendships, hell, it could even be family of origin type stuff that maybe you never really felt that you could. Something interesting though that I see a lot with frozen shoulder is the relationship between one's inability to express voice and how it pertains to their career. Either that's like in the exact situation or environment that they're in, or there could be an incongruency of they don't really want to be doing what they want to be, what they're doing, or that there's something about their belief systems that don't match up with what their hands are doing. So a lot of times I see it as the imbalance between this center of volition and career and self-empowerment isn't on board with what the person really feels they should be doing. And then that also in tandem locks up with this voice of self-expression. All of this shuts down and then the shoulders lock in place. Another thing that I think about frozen shoulder is that it's actually really fundamentally a diaphragm issue and a breathing issue. So we have the diaphragm here, spans all the way down through the back. It's what we always think of when we think of breath, right? So like as we exhale, it actually cups up like this. And then as we inhale, it's actually flattening to push your chest open. Now there's all kinds of muscles all up in here that also need to help us breathe. Some of those being the intercostals, which I talked about in the last episode of feeling like you have this accordion, the muscles of the accordion to help push open your ribs. You've also got some accordion muscles up here, which help lower and lift the collarbone. Now if those are stuck, this can't lift appropriately. And the way that the shoulders are mounted on the body is actually via the collarbone. So if the collarbone is stuck, the shoulders are going to be stuck, and then we've got frozen shoulder issues. So frozen shoulder is a breathing issue. So what we're going to look at in this episode is ways to loosen up your breath and ways to start feeling your breath. And who knows, maybe with frozen shoulder-esque kind of things, you'll actually feel some amount of emotion. Pay attention to it and I guess just observe and see if something does come up, or and the something coming up may not be that you're crying, it could just be the thoughts that are crossing your mind or maybe the frustrations that are crossing your mind as you're doing the exercises. Another thing that makes frozen shoulders so emotionally laden, in my opinion, of 10 years of doing this, is I can't tell you how many times it's like if I had $1 that somebody comes in for several months and we'll get one shoulder fixed, and then, totally not joking, it will almost always move to the other side. And that to me just makes me think that there's something beyond just biomechanics that we're talking about, and it really is like someone shoving their stress in these quadrants and not reconciling with some of the deeper aspects. Okay, off my soapbox, let's get into some diaphragm relief. All right, first diaphragm release is just half inflated ball. These are inexpensive on Amazon. If you don't have something like this, roll up a towel or a small pillow. Okay, what we're always focusing on with these exercises, both this one and the next one, is breathing into the back body and allowing that ball to come into my chest cavity. So I have that right at the split of my rib cage. I'm focusing on breathing into my back on the inhalation, and then I let go. And as I'm breathing, you will feel your shoulders rise up, but the image that you're really going for here is that the shoulder blades are gliding off the ribs. Because in reality, they're actually only attached up in here. So they should be able to float like wings, kind of like your prehistoric bird wings, as you're doing this exercise. One more. Feel free to do as many of those as you want, and you may be lightheaded, as I am right now. You may also be super nauseous if you're somebody who holds tension in your diaphragm. So be prepared. If you're not, don't be alarmed, it's okay. And for my next trick, just kidding. This hand towel is folded up. It's gonna go along the left side of my spine, so just to the left of my actual spine. This could just be a towel as well. Okay, so first I'm just going to slide my leg away and pull it back. As I do that, I'm just thinking my pelvis is heavy in the floor. I'm only gonna do 3, but feel free to do more. And then I'm taking this and I'm pulling that arm, so it's the same side as the towel, across my body. And I'm inhaling into the back of my right lung, and then I exhale and bring it back. And then if you slide off the towel, ideally you feel more relaxed on that entire left side of your back. So we'll do that on the right side. Okay, so first, sliding my leg, pelvis heavy. Arms pull to the side. Trying to inhale into the back of my ribs on the left. Exhale, bring it back. Okay, and our last few things here, I love doing twofers. I love combining things. So I have my half inflated ball again. I'm gonna put that right at my bra line for us females. Maybe a little bit more behind shoulder blades. And then I'm just gonna have my legs up against a wall. This with active frozen shoulder may be too intense. You could even do what we just did with that hand towel and just have that along your spine. Just the idea of kind of being in a slight back bend. Another option would be plow pose from yoga. So where you kick overhead and you have your legs there. Again, that might be a little too intense for active shoulder. Some other little addendums that I haven't mentioned yet is I love the cupping set for frozen shoulder. So cupping along the sternum is a really good idea. That will help with this ability to open. Cupping along the diaphragm here and here, really all along your abdomen and the side of your ribs is really effective for getting more breathing. Hard to do on your own, but if you've got a partner or a friend, cupping along the inside of the shoulder blade would be really effective as well. Another option then is just doming over a yoga ball. So I could go in a back bend type of a situation, or I could forward fold over it and try to feel the long aspect of my spine stretch over the ball. Thank you for watching. I hope that you found some of this informative and at least gave you pause for thought on where you're holding the stress in your body. In our last 2 episodes of this series, we'll do a basic and an intermediate workout. The basic is going to be pretty basic. It really is just reestablishing proper shoulder mechanics. I think that a lot of times if someone's in pretty acute frozen shoulder or shoulder impingement pain, it's a fine line between doing too much and rest. So we'll make it gentle, no weights, no resistance, and getting you to start to move your shoulder girdle how it should, and hopefully your breathing will be better. Thanks for watching.